God, whose power at work in our lives can do far more than we can either ask or imagine. Those words from Ephesians 3:20 have become a scriptural mantra for me, especially in these times. I see things and they seem impossible. There seems to be no solution. And then God surprises me and shows the way. God, whose power at work in our lives can do far more than we can either ask or imagine. Sometimes, as a leader, it's hard to admit when you were wrong. I was wrong when I said that we could not celebrate communion unless we were together, live, in person, face to face. I was wrong about that. And during these weeks of the Easter season, God has been working on me to help us figure out a way that even though we're far away from each other, that we can still celebrate communion. There are two hurdles that I had to get over in thinking about this. The first, is online community real? Is it valid when we worship in digital space? Does it have the same value and worth when we're gathered in our homes around the computer? Is that still meaningful? And so in the beginning, my thinking was that it was not valid. But that changed the weekend of Easter. That was the first weekend that we pre-recorded the service on Saturday morning, which meant that I worshiped with my family in front of the computer on Easter Sunday morning. And wow, that was a phenomenal experience to be able to gather with my family and to be together via this screen and to see all the names show up on the right side of the screen and the comments. I especially loved when somebody new showed up, that there would always be a Trinity member who would offer this written word of welcome. Our online community is real, and it's real because the community we share with each other is real. It doesn't matter if it's in this space or if it's in digital space. It's still real and valid and meaningful. The second hurdle for me is about time and space. How is God working in time and space? And I was having trouble getting through this question. How is it that the bread and wine can be blessed here in this space, and that blessing can extend into all of our homes, and in some cases in homes all across our nation, and in a few cases, homes across the world? How can God do that? And then how can it be that the bread and wine can be blessed in this space on Saturday morning, and that blessing extend all the way to Sunday morning at 10 o'clock when the service premieres? You see, I was putting God in a box. I was deciding what God could and could not do, what was impossible for God. And that's not the way I usually think about other things, but in this case, I was relying on the ways that I had experienced God working and not being open to the fact that God can absolutely work in digital space. You see, we believe in a God who was and who is to come. And so crossing over in between time and space, that's no issue for God. It was an issue for me. And so while time and space is an obstacle for me, it is not for God. And I've decided that when it comes to us celebrating communion in digital space, I'm not going to worry about that. I will trust and have faith, and I invite you to do the same. Trust and have faith that God can do this too. You see, God always works beyond boundaries and restrictions that we set. God simply reaches out in love, no boundaries, no exceptions. And sometimes that means we simply have to get out of the way so God can work. So all of this means that our congregation will gather in our homes on Pentecost Sunday, May 31st, and we will celebrate the sacrament of Holy Communion. I'm very excited about that. The details about that will be shared with you soon, but for now, I hope that you'll also share in that excitement that we can be fed through this sacrament in our homes very soon. Now know this is an opportunity, an offering, a gift, a way to strengthen us and bring us together while we're separated from each other. But there will be some of you who will decide not to participate, and that will be just fine. And there'll be others of you who will be extremely excited about an innovative experience of communion. Both options are equally valid. But as for me, I'm looking forward to Pentecost Sunday and the opportunity to once again share in the sacrament with you, this opportunity for us to be fed and nourished and brought closer together. In these days, I invite you to continue to prayerfully consider these words of Ephesians 3:20. God, whose power is at work in our lives, can do far more than we can either ask or imagine. That's true. It's true when it comes to communion, and it's also true for every other aspect of our lives. I will continue to keep you close in my prayers, and I ask that you continue to keep my colleagues and me close in your prayers until that great day when we can be together again.